We chose CenturyLink as both the best DSL provider and our best budget internet provider. There's a lot to be said for their new pricing structure and their fiber initiatives, but when it comes to meeting advertised speeds, there are some details that you should know about before you sign up. So let's dive in. But first thing, let's talk about price. This has always been a strength for CenturyLink, and here's why. Right now, you'll pay as little as $45 a month up to $85 a month, and that's for some great speed, potentially. The actual price might change periodically, and you should check at Reviews.org to make sure that you're getting the most up-to-date numbers. But whenever you sign up, your price is for life. Now, you might think that means for the life of your contract, but that's the thing, there is no contract. CenturyLink got rid of those. So, no contracts, no introductory prices, pricing for life, whatever else I might say about CenturyLink during this review, that at least is pretty great. Now, as for which package we'd recommend, I'd say if you're looking to go best bang for your buck, try a middle of the road option. Of course, if you live in an area where a gig internet plan is available, then you might consider that, because gig internet, that's 1,000 megabits per second, is pretty awesome. But honestly, it's a luxury speed, and for most households, something like 80 megabits per second will be plenty of speed. Now, speaking of speed, let's talk about what you'll get for the money with CenturyLink. Plans end up changing every so often, so I won't try to get into the nitty-gritty specifics of what's available this month. Instead, I'll say that CenturyLink's plans are either for DSL or fiber, with fiber being by far the faster and rarer version. What you're able to get, even under the DSL umbrella, will depend on where you live. Some areas will get lower speeds, maybe 20 megabits per second. Others will have higher available speeds, maybe up to 100 megabits per second, with the coveted fiber connections offering up those coveted gig speeds I mentioned earlier. So go look up what you can get in your area by using the zip code search box in the CenturyLink review on Reviews.org. But be aware of this important factoid. The FCC keeps data on how much speed internet companies actually provide versus what they advertise, and CenturyLink doesn't do too well on this count. According to the FCC data, you can count on between 80 and 95% of whatever you sign up for. So if you get a 20 megabit per second plan, count on more like 18 megabits per second in reality. Now, this may not sound like too big a deal, but to put it into perspective, consider that a lot of companies will sometimes exceed what's advertised. Xfinity, for instance, almost always does. I should also mention that CenturyLink's data caps are, well, actually, I'm not really sure why they're there, actually. The data cap is 1 terabyte, but if you exceed that, which you probably won't, they don't throttle you or cut off your data or anything, they just send a letter and ask you to upgrade. So CenturyLink ultimately feels like they don't even have data caps, which is nice. As for its customer service, CenturyLink ranks right in the middle of the pack with an ASCI rating as of 2016 of 63 out of 100. Now, if that sounds less than stellar, well, yeah, the entire industry is basically famous for its lackluster customer service ratings. So that's not very helpful in the specifics, so here's what you need to know. Their support site is actually pretty darn good, especially the search function. So if you have a question, try there first, since at least you don't have to wait on hold. But if you do need to call, your options are going to be shockingly limited. Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. to get customer service. That's it. Well, unless you want to sign up for service, I suppose. The sales department is open on Saturdays at least. All right, now I ended on a bit of a harsh note, but let's see if we can salvage something here. If the question is, what do we think of CenturyLink overall, then the answer is that it's okay. It definitely is a budget provider compared to some of its competitors, and it shows most notably in the speed performance versus what's advertised. But while that part is a bit lackluster, the new pricing model is actually really good, especially with its price for life concept and no contracts. So CenturyLink is worth a look, but before you get too excited, definitely use our zip code tool, like I mentioned earlier, to see what kind of speeds they can deliver in your area. Anyway, we'd love to hear what you have to say. Do you feel like our review was fair and accurate? Any other questions you've got? Hit up the comments and let us know, and we will see you on the next review.